Well, in terms of Tuesday night, David, really nice, obviously, to get the win, and an important one as well in the context of the table. I know it's only November, but it keeps you in touching distance of the playoffs and where you want to be. Absolutely,
it is November, isn't it? So it's a very busy time, and I actually think it was a really big result for us. Average, I think, first half improved, second half. The boys scored some good goals and deserved the win, and it was a big result.
Yeah, you mentioned maybe a bit average in the first half, but it's the way of league football, isn't it? You're not going to go out there necessarily and play brilliantly for a whole 90 minutes. In fact, more often than not, you probably won't.
Yeah, I think that's possibly true. Having said that, we need to be better than we were. And we need to make sure that we accept that and take the responsibility for that and really try and improve. I think the players have done well in large parts of the season, and we just need to make sure that we are as consistent as we possibly can. But the positives from Tuesday was a fantastic goal, some really good support from the crowd in that second half as well, and once we got going, everybody got going, and that's something we need to really draw on and take into the next game.
Yeah, we saw that earlier at the season at London Road, and we saw as well with August that if you can link the wins together, that's when you really start to make the movement in terms of the table, and I guess that's got to be the aim.
Absolutely the aim. I think there was a good start, was dissolved somewhat by some average performances and results, and I think we need to make sure that we are working as hard as we can, as consistently as possible, and that's absolutely the case. I think the boys overall have done well, but there's so much room for improvement, as there always is, from the staff and the players, and we'll continue to strive forward, definitely.
And probably a good moment to reflect on some individuals as well. Stephen Taylor, when he came to the club, everyone knew about his injury record, and goodness knows if it had been a problem we'd be talking about it so much. Because he's done so well, yeah, he's got the plaudits, but probably not as many as he deserves, because he's really done a good job.
Yeah, I think he has. I personally am not so keen to nail down the individuals, but Stephen, for example, has done particularly well. He has the record he has in the past. I think it's down to his mentality and his desire to play for our football club and to really be around Peterborough. That's been a real marked kind of strength of his. So he's been fantastic. But like I say, I think we will do well together and we will be average together. So I think that's very much the mantra from the club, and we need to make sure that we individually are really pushing and taking us all forwards, and Stephen is definitely one of the ones who've done well.
It's about having that mix, isn't it? You've got the likes of Stephen Taylor and Anthony Grant who have got the experience, you've got the younger players as well. Do you feel quite happy with the balance at the moment? Because it's easier said than done, isn't it, to get a squad and a side which is how you want it?
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever happy, but it's a good bunch of people, it's a good bunch of footballers as well, and we're just really striving to, as I say, to improve and go forward. It's definitely how can I say this diplomatically, there's definitely much room for improvement. So we need to make sure that we are performing to the best of our ability at home and away from the ground. So it's time to really put these results as much as we can in consistent order. We need to make sure that we're ready for such a difficult game on Saturday, and then we roll on to the next one after that. But first things first, it's going to be a difficult one Saturday.
Yeah, it's a nice challenge to have, isn't it? If you were sitting 7th in the table and you were looking at your squad and thinking, oh, I'm not sure there is too much room for improvement, you're not going to be terribly happy. The fact that you know, and I guess there are certain areas where you're thinking, yeah, we haven't got to do too much more and we'll see a big improvement, that's great.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's sometimes we need little tweaks, don't we? Maybe in personnel or formation or whatever it is, and other times we need a big collective push. So it is about just trying to strive for that consistency over the period of time. And I think overall we've done okay, haven't we? We've done okay, but I think everybody will agree that there's some significant improvement to do, and that's what it's certainly we're aiming for, and we'll definitely work towards that and to get there.
What do you make of Rochdale then? Clearly they're towards the bottom of the table, but like so many sides actually, when you dig down into their record, particularly at home, they've done well.
Yeah, you're spot on, and I think it's just another example of how close and competitive the league is. It's concertinaed at places, it's a little bit wider open at other places, but Rochdale are a team that are full of good individual players, they're a good side, they've got good management staff, they know exactly what they're doing. So it's a really big game for us. It's a tough game and one we need to be ready for. I think going away to a team like Rochdale really focuses our minds on how we need to work, how hard we need to work, and we need to make sure that we're doing the best we can.
In terms of the team news, big vote of confidence for Ricky Miller, even though he wasn't involved on Tuesday, to have him there. And he's potentially got such a big part to play, hasn't he? Because we haven't really seen what he's all about, but he scored so many goals last season, and the potential is there.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think he along with a few of us, potential is a big word. He's one that there will come a time, there have to come a time, as it will happen for all of us, that we need to turn this potential into doing better consistently, as I'm talking about. And he's one that just needs to get his head down and keep working. But that's the same story for all of us. We've got to just keep going, keep working to the best we can. And there is potential, certainly, in the group. There's some young boys in there that need to really flourish and really flower into some really good footballers. And there's some experienced boys that can also keep going. And there's some staff that are also very keen to learn and keep working and to do the best we can.
Yeah, when you look at that potential, it must be great for someone like, say, Leo da Silva Lopez, that he's played so many games this season. That in itself, in fact, right through his career, he's played so many matches, and that can only help him. Yeah,
definitely. I feel it's still new here this season. Obviously, I've had some time in the past and I've been very fortunate for that, but it still feels fresh. And one of the really good things about Peterborough United the whole way through is everybody, literally everybody, from the chairman downwards, is keen to play the young players. So there's a great opportunity here to get in the team and stay in the team. And we need to make sure that we are understanding of the young players, remember them in their age and their experience, but also demand from them that if they're going to be in the team, they need to be of the level. And we need to make sure that we are still pushing and persuading and cajoling these players to perform at the highest they can. And it's a good place to be for a young player, and hopefully that will remain the same.
Is it much the same challenge if you're a Leo and you're coming into the team as a youngster? If you're a Danny Lloyd or a Junior Marias coming from non-league, is that challenge much the same when it comes to hitting the standards in League One?
I think that's a really interesting question. I think perhaps the underlying factor there really is a desire to play, to really want to try and play, want to improve themselves. I think the young players have to show that, and the boys that come in from non-league, like the ones you've described, also come in with that hunger and desire to play. And I think it's certainly something that we have to pay big attention to in terms of our recruitment and in terms of the boys that are still here, to really show a desire to play for the football club. And I think over the course of the season we have certainly showed that. But again, we need to make sure that we're showing the consistency and our levels to be as high as we can for as often as we can.
And just to confirm on the team news, I think it was suspected that Guillaume would be suspended. Is that the case?
Yeah, he is. I think that'll be well documented. I think he's feeling slightly aggrieved, but it is what it is, and we get on with it. He's been an important player for us, but somebody needs to step in and take his place.
And with knocks and niggles, it sounded like Ryan Tafazoli should be good to go.
There are one or two knocks and niggles, as you say, and we got through training. But there are always some that are carrying stuff, and I think we'll just have to wait and see how that pans out closer to the weekend.
Cool, thanks David.
Pleasure, thank you. Awesome.